Do you guys know what the best thing is about playing Pet Simulator? It's that you can AFK and make millions of diamonds in this game without even touching your PC or your device. And in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's with the help of TinyTask. It's basically a program that copies whatever you do in your recording and repeats it for a set amount of time. Basically, you guys can set it up any way you want and start your AFK grinds without any problem. In this video, I will be demonstrating how I set it up for my 5 accounts when I go and start my overnight grinds, and hopefully this will help you guys a lot with understanding how the program works and start your AFK grinds yourselves. I will put the link of this program down in the description in case you guys want to download it and save you guys a lot of trouble of searching it yourselves. But guys, before we continue, I will be announcing the winners of the previous video. They both won 500k diamonds each, and the way they won it was basically they commented down their IGN, liked the video and subscribed. So if you guys want to have a chance of winning 500k diamonds as well, you know what to do. Anyways, let's get back to the video. Also guys, keep in mind that TinyTask is only made for computers, so if you have a phone, this will sadly not work. But phones do have other alternatives like autoclicker with recording option, and it's basically the same thing but only for one account. But with TinyTask you can set up as many accounts as you want as long as you set up the recording perfectly. But in my case, I will be showing you guys how to TinyTask with 5 accounts. Ignore this one, that's my Plaza noob that sells the drops I make overnight, but just ignore this one and let's focus on the other 5 tabs that are open. First, let me open the TinyTask program and get back to you guys in a second. Alright, as you guys can see, this is a TinyTask, the small box, and when you install it and open it up, I want you guys to go to the prefs section and set up the play speed at 1 times, and the continuous playback you need to check mark it, because this way it will repeat whatever you record for an infinite amount of times until you stop the playback. After that is done, you guys can go to the recording hotkey and the playback hotkey. Sadly, they do not have an option to set up your own macros, and they only give you a choice of 4 options, but since we play Roblox, I do not recommend to use any of the other 3, because I believe F12 starts the recording on the Roblox experience itself, and then you'll basically overload on your PC. But what I did is I memorized the long recording and playback hotkeys. They get easy after a while, you get used to it, so I recommend you guys to do that as well, or write it down on a paper next to you in case you guys forget it. After you guys know the hotkeys, that's when you set up the TinyTask. I also forgot to say, but you guys want to have the TinyTask always on top. This way you guys will not lose it somewhere on your PC screen and will always be on top of whatever you are playing or using, even when you click on the screen itself. So that's a good thing to have. And before we start, I will take the example of grinding at the last area for the TinyTask. You can do this for egg hatching as well, or whatever you want to do, or even fishing and mining. But since I AFK grind always, this is what I use TinyTask for. So yeah, this is basically for the people that AFK at the last area. Before you guys start your recording, I want you guys to use all the potions and fruits you want to use during your AFK. So what I recommend you guys to do is, let's say you want to AFK for 8 hours, then you should consume all the consumables you want to use for that specific amount of time, and do that for the other accounts as well. And that's when you start your recordings. Also guys, do not make the mistake I made at the start when I was new to TinyTask on this game, which was I started the recording, and when I wanted to place down flags, let's say for diamonds, I typed the word diamonds manually, but sometimes TinyTask had a bug where it did not type in my inventory and started moving my character instead of typing, and sometimes I ended up somewhere else and basically lost a lot of hours of grinding because of that. So I was thinking and found a genius idea how to counter it, which is basically you copy the word diamonds, that's if you want to use diamond flags, and every time you Ctrl V it, it pops up straight up in your inventory. And this also saves a lot of typing, especially if you have multiple accounts like me, and avoids getting a bug randomly when you're AFK. So yeah, I do recommend copying the word you want to use with the TinyTask. And about the fruits guys, I personally never use them, like the rainbow fruit and the apple, etc., because they only stack up to 20 times and after that they become useless. And since you don't want to type every word one by one and have bad luck with the TinyTask and end up somewhere else than the area you're grinding at, I do not recommend you guys to try to consume the fruits themselves. But also they do not add that much of a difference at your grinds, so you guys are not missing out on too much. So yeah, let's get started. We copied the word diamonds and this is where we are gonna start the recording. So in my case it's Ctrl Alt plus Shift plus R for record, and that's when you start opening up your inventory. Ctrl V, place down the flag and repeat for all the accounts as well. After that is done, I want you guys to go back to your main screen and wait 5 minutes before you stop the recording. Because if you stop the recording before that, it will keep placing flags at a faster pace, and after a few hours the game will give you an error that you already have the max amount of flags placed. So this is why I recommend to even put up a timer of 4 or 5 minutes and get ready to stop the recording as soon as this hits the 5-minute mark. And when we get close to the 5-minute mark, I will get back to you guys and show you how it basically copies whatever I just did. Alright guys, we're getting close to the 5-minute mark, so get ready to stop your recording with the same keys that you used to start the recording with. And let's go. Okay, now that the recording is saved, as soon as you hit the playback hotkey, that's where the real AFK grind starts and the time you can just leave your device running and doing its own thing. So let me show you guys. I will start the recording in a second and let's go. So this, I'm not touching my PC at all. That's the program copying whatever I did before, and it will repeat itself for an unlimited amount of time until I stop it manually. And the last alt, and now it will be on my main screen until it stops the recording and repeats it. But yeah guys, this is it basically. And let me stop my recording for a second. I hope this video helped a lot of people understand how easy it is to set up this Tiny Task program, which is pretty OP because it can play the game for you while you can do other stuff like watching your videos or relaxing and basically consume no time at all. And yes guys, this is how I make my hundreds of millions of diamonds each time, basically every day. I did make a video about it if you guys want to check it out. So yes guys, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.